Hey coaches, I want to talk about what to do before you meet with a leader, whether this is a one-on-one for a meal or coffee, or you're grabbing them on a Sunday morning to discuss things. The first thing I want you to stop and do is pray. Pray and ask for wisdom and discernment on how God wants you to lead the meeting, that you're receptive to the leading of the Spirit as you meet with your leader. The second thing, I want you to start to review your notes from your previous one-on-ones, review text messages or emails that you have. If you're not taking notes after meetings with your leaders, I encourage getting Evernote or using the notepad on your phone, or getting a journal and writing down key things that are coming up in your one-on-one meetings or through text messages with your leaders. What things have you been praying for this leader and their group? What personal things are going on in their life that you want to bring back up? Were there any things that you talked about last time that you still need to process and work through? Questions about their group life cycle. Where were they at the last meeting? Were they just getting started, or were they looking for an apprentice? So that you can start to ask questions about where they're at now in their group life cycle. Ask them what's something that they've learned in the last few months or weeks since y'all last met. Where have they been studying and growing in their apprenticeship to Jesus? How have their hearts been returned back to the kingdom? So ask them to share what they've been learning, not only in their group, but in their personal life, in their own time with God. And then also review, what action steps did you have them take last time? Was there a book that you recommended that they read? Or do you want to follow up with that? Did you ask them to find an apprentice by next meeting? Follow up. So if you've had any action steps, review your notes so you know, hey, I need to challenge and hold accountable to these action steps that we asked to take last time we met. The third thing I want you to start to do is commit yourself to this meeting. Commit yourself to equip the leader that you're meeting with. Sometimes you have to go back to the basics, and if they're having some group conflict, going back to the basics of Matthew 18 and having conflict resolution. So never forget that sometimes we go back to the basics with our leaders, just to remind them of the vision and simple group dynamics and group management skills. Then we want you to pass on what you're learning. If there's anything that you've learned in your walk with Christ, if there's a resource that really encouraged you or challenged you, pass that on. Share what you are learning in the Spirit as well. Because leaders want to feel like they're being developed. They want to know that you're also growing. And so share with how the things that you might be struggling with as a leader, and God's teaching and leading you, and share what resources, what studies, what books or podcasts that are really encouraging and strengthening your heart. The fourth thing, after you pray, after you review notes, you commit yourself to being at this meeting, find opportunities to coach the leaders, coach to their individual need. Don't treat all leaders the same, because they're at different levels of their spiritual maturity, their journey with Christ. And so commit to coaching to their individual need, learning what specific areas that they need to work with. Is confession and repentance something hard for the leader in the group? Coach through that. If there's group dynamics of over talking or political conversation overtaking the group time, coach through that specific need for that leader. Don't treat every leader the same. And then finally, find ways to support the leader in their own personal development. Ask them, what areas are you wanting God to work in your life? What areas are you holding back from God? If you could spend the next 6 months growing in one area in your apprentice to Jesus, what would it be? Support their individual growth as a coach, but then also support their family life as well. Review important events. If they celebrate a birthday or anniversary or kids activities, be aware of these things and ask them how they're leading their family in the way of Jesus, as well as they become foreigners of the faith. So these are some things to do before you meet with your leaders. Is pray for them, review your time with them, commit yourself to equipping them, coach the leaders through their individual needs, and then support the leader in their life and their individual growth.